All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Squadcast73, the podcast you never wanted from a bike company. I am Michael, as always, marketing. I'm joined by...
Mac.
I'm Miguel. I'm marketing too.
Dude, you almost forgot your name for a second, right?
I just didn't know it was my turn. Like,
oh, okay.
I would have told you if you forgot.
No doubt.
I'm Danny Casale, a bad animator.
Okay, so Danny says he's a bad animator, but I guarantee almost everyone watching this podcast right now or listening to it, we're available on Spotify and iTunes, has seen one of Danny's animations. So we're going to go ahead and cut one in right here so that the audience can kind of see what we're talking about.
Enjoy.
Hey, hey, yeah, I have a question. Can I ask you my question? Do you like soup? Do you like soup?
Nipples get me all the time.
Yes, soup is so good.
They're only there when he like.
I love it too.
I actually love
You eat it, you sip it, you do what you want. Just eat some soup. Ooh, and don't get me started on waffles. They are so delicious.
Okay, so that is Coolman Coffeedan.
Yeah, that
on-
was weird.
On Instagram and
Yeah.
YouTube. That's what you're famous for at this point in your life. Did you
Yeah.
ever think that that would be how millions and millions of people know you?
No, I don't even know how to, go about taking the first step to doing that. I always knew I wanted to draw for a living. Like specifically, I remember daydreaming in 8th grade Spanish, like how cool would it be to just wake up and draw and somehow, get paid for that and entertain people with that and have like a reach and an audience with that. And I'm like, but I don't even know how that's possible. I don't even know what that job title is. So, and it's just wild that it's come to this through the succession of events of the internet.
And this is such a weird thing for me to even be asking a guest right now. But where did you get soup and then waffles and what's the process on something like that?
Was there a soup that you were eating, like chicken noodle?
Right. Well, you know what? Yeah, because I was sick with bronchitis. This was a month ago. So I was like sick with bronchitis a month ago, and I was just eating a ton of soup. And I'm like, this isn't that bad. Soup is really good. And then I proceeded to discover this app that does like the Imogen Heap type of effect. Yeah. And I was having so much fun with that, searching for lyrics, and I just finished eating soup. So I'm like, duh, I'm going to make it about soup. And, then it was just a natural emotional progression to singing about waffles.
It had such a Kanye, and it's so trendy, and it's almost like one of those things where because of the music that people have created with that sound, it naturally draws out emotions, which I think is why maybe, and I don't want to sit here and try to break down why that went viral, but maybe that's partly because it reminds me so much of, how do you say it? Imogen Heap?
Imogen Heap.
Imogen Heap.
Dude,
Okay.
I have no
However
idea
you
how to
say it.
pronounce
It's like
that's
emo,
a
9th grade,
Right,
high
right,
school.
right.
Yeah, and
like,
it gives you like
what
these
you
feelings,
say.
and so to watch
back.
that, and then when he spreads his arms, we commented on the nipples, like how
Yes.
you just pop a couple little nipples there, and it adds this extra level of like
Comedy.
What is
Yeah,
happening?
Yes.
But it is also like, I think Kanye is one meltdown away from creating that exact song, and that's where I think this
real.
whole thing is so. It's perfect for the time that we're in. It is you're talking to millennials. You say a lot of it's millennials and Gen Z that watch what you do.
Yeah.
And I think there's this weird desire to escape reality in such a major way. It's not like, oh, let's consume entertainment, but it's like, let's consume this weird stuff that we've never seen or never felt.
Yeah.
It's like this evolution of people wanting to, I guess, evolve their emotions and their content that they absorb. I mean, is there anything in that vein that makes you feel like that's why you catch on?
Well, this, I'm learning as I'm going here, but one of the main things that I realized that confirms that level of like deepness is people are scrolling through their timeline and their guard is down for the most part, especially when they see my thumbnail with bright colors and poorly drawn cute characters. Their guard's down. They think they're about to go on an excursion of dumbness, and with some videos they might be, but so their guard's down, their emotional guard is down. They go into this video, they're watching the first 5 seconds, and then like something happens and it hits them and they're like, why am I feeling stuff right now? Why am I like feeling heavy? So like with the soup one, I can't even really explain it. There's a little bit of magic juju in that one, probably with like the singing, the soft tone singing, and like the rain effects in the background and the colors, the soft tone, like the cool tone colors. It takes you somewhere emotionally, even though you have this weird green blob singing about soup, but you're just like, it brings you to a very meditation state,
Like
like
trance.
yeah, and you're like, what is going on? And you're confused, you don't know why you're feeling that, but you love what you're feeling. I have another animation series called Blue Dude, where in many cases it's like many kids, from what it seems like, from what I'm reading in the comments, it's many kids' only source of like therapy, and it's this blue character that kind of tells you how life is mostly good, and if you're feeling self-conscious, that's okay, and you should stop. And another one about that you're loved in many shapes and forms, and you go into this thinking like, wow, this is about to be some dumb video because it's like this blue blob, but then he starts, hitting you where it hurts, so to speak, and addressing the issues and addressing, the emotional, issues that you carry. And all of a sudden you're seeking help from this fictional, character. But people want to see more of Blue Dude. They're saying, when am I going to see Blue Dude again? When's the next Blue Dude? And it's an honor to, as well as all the comedy and dumb stuff that falls under the Coolman Coffeedan universe, I'm mostly honored to offer that sort of help through my characters, because kids don't have access to that.
So do you find that you're reactive to what your users are engaging with, or engaging you with, or are you more reactive to the culture and pop culture, or what's going on in the world, or what you're feeling, kind of a mix of everything? Or
I would say mostly the former. Definitely mainly just kind of going about what I'm doing, engaging what everybody's liking, and doing less of what people don't like, doubling down on what people do like Blue Dude. But there's sometimes like the pop culture. I did one about Kanye and Trump, and that one really popped off because it was just so dumb.
Yeah, you did one with the egg too, right?
Oh yeah, the world record egg.
Yeah.
I hopped on pretty quick. I made that in like one night, talking to imaginary objects in my refrigerator, and that popped off. That got like 2 million views in 24 hours, and
wow.
Dude, your engagement's no joke.
How do you
the
get
engagement's wild? For sure.
Why do you think you get so much engagement? Is it people tagging other people? Is it people sharing their problems in the comments? Is it people saying I relate to this?
Yeah, all of the above. I think mostly it's the what I call taggability culture. Tagging your friends and tagging people that this makes you think of, and sending something to your friend that made you laugh in hopes that it'll make them laugh too. In the beginning, like, people were calling my stuff memes, which I thought, okay, I guess I'm a meme guy now, but it's evolved beyond that. But really, that's all people knew to call that, because there's no other explanation for something you watch and then want to tag six friends in other than a meme.
Dude, and who doesn't like soup and waffle?
Yeah, I mean, you're like, not only are you engaging them with the trans, sounds, but like everyone loves soup.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
man.
right.
Like, you were talking about that, Mac. You're like,
Everyone
I love
loves
soup.
soup. I mean, you can have a hearty soup or you can have a brothy soup, and they're both equally
Everything between.
fulfilling.
Yep, you're
Right.
eating and drinking at the same
Exactly.
time.
Right, you could do what you want.
It's warm, it's satisfying.
It could be cold.
Do you find yourself trying to do you find yourself in a battle with, okay, what do I give my users more of what they want, or am I, you know, satisfying myself as an artist?
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, like there's a little bit of a balance there, I'm sure.
And also on
100%.
that same question, what kind of artist do you see yourself as? Because I notice with a lot of online creators, their art is very different from who they are in real life. It's almost like a split personality thing.
Right.
Do you feel like you identify more with that, or is this just like what's going on inside your brain?
What's going on? What's inside my brain, man?
Dude, it was so interesting to see you that night when we went to the bar
Yeah,
in New York, and I was just like watching you make something.
right.
And it started out with like you talking about like the new features on Instagram.
I was
where,
drawing on Instagram stories in
yeah,
front of
and,
Miguel.
like, we were talking about like
That's
the
where
new
it looks
features.
like that's where it looks like it came from. Just
Yeah.
that kind of animation. So Miguel, you know Dan from way back
from New York. Yeah.
So like, how did you guys connect? And also like, when did your journey start in relation to this like friendship?
We connected at 368,
Okay.
and it was Dan Mace. He had a video that he was going to shoot with regarding like Casey's camera equipment coming to life, and Danny just. How did Dan even reach out to you? Was it through Luke?
It was through Luke.
Luke
Yeah.
recommended you to Dan Mace.
Yeah, Luke's Dan Mace's assistant,
Yeah,
right hand man,
out in South
was
Africa.
a fan
Shout out to Luke.
of my stuff, and I guess Dan Mace asked who are New York collaborators that I could collab with, and
Yeah.
my name was on that list.
And dude, that was
Which is awesome.
That was a wild 3-day adventure where
That's
like
crazy.
we were up at like until like 5 a.m. in
Sounds
368 just shooting.
Typical
Jeez.
New York lifestyle.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Go,
Shooting
go.
this concept of Casey Neistat's broken gear,
Yeah.
which he has a lot of, like
Yeah.
broken smashed GoPros and shattered drones and all that, like broken lenses, and
They would come to life at night.
They come to life at night and
Like plot
seek
against
revenge.
him.
Oh.
So where did that end up?
It's on Dan Mace's YouTube channel.
Crazy.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
you shot that.
Dan shot it. And
I animated
and
the faces
he
coming
animated
to life
yeah.
and voiced all the
Yeah.
faces, and
That's so cool.
And then
it
like
was a
that,
wild concept.
that's
That
how
is
me.
crazy.
it's
That's,
almost like
that's how me and Dan met.
it's almost like a modern day misfit toy, you know,
Exactly.
sort of take.
Like Night at the Museum,
Yeah.
Toy Story esque, and Casey loved it from what
Yeah.
I saw.
It's interesting though from like where you back then I feel like it wasn't as crazy for you. I remember you were even telling me that before I had you on my podcast. You're like, oh, that was the right time before things got really crazy for you. Because
Yeah,
then
yeah,
like
yeah.
now you went out to India.
4 months ago, that podcast was right.
I don't even. Yeah, sounds
Like
right.
December.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, I keep hitting different tiers or different chapters rather, where it's like the Hot Wheels, like the Hot Wheel car is on the track and then it hits that speed thing.
Dude, see, I love how your mind works. It just seems like that's where like your drawings and everything comes from. It's just straight. Your mind is just constantly thinking of things
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
and then you just draw it out, and then you just put it out there.
Yeah, but even with that, like it quiets down when I don't have a lot going on, and it speeds up accordingly with the amount of different cool projects that I'm working on and cool people that I'm meeting. So like, you know, my life keeps like getting faster and faster and cooler as far as like, you know, coming out here, chilling
Yeah.
with you guys, and you know, going to India and going to South by Southwest, and it's like picking up. And that kind of goes back to your question about like, you know, do I have like alternate persona? Like, I don't, and I'm very proud of that. Actually, I'm very proud that
Yeah.
I'm not totally different off camera, so to speak, because that's almost the normal. That's almost the norm.
Sure.
It's almost like
Yeah.
acceptable to be so different and like socially inept. You know, not calling anyone out in particular, but some people are out here being like socially inept and like acting like the most, you know, outgoing, charismatic person on camera. Whereas I embrace my, you know, awkwardness. I embrace my weirdness on camera, on my content that lives on social media, as well as in real life. If anything more in real life, I'm embracing the weirdness.
We were
you know?
talking.
great.
We were talking about that when we were grabbing coffee. How like your whole your internet fame is a little different from most people because it's not your face that's on camera all the time.
And
Ever.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Ever.
And,
And
it's totally different.
I think that's why there's like this integrity to it that makes people like the team at Super 73 excited to do a project with you, because
Yeah.
you come out here, we start talking, we kind of feel it out. There's no expectations. We just wanted to hang out. And then as we talk, the wheels start to turn, and it's like, oh, well, you actually genuinely understand like not only the content you're making, but why you're making it and where it's coming from. In the same way where, you know, as crazy as that soup waffle video was, there was a reason. There's like a reason you did it, and it's
Yeah.
like it just evolved and became a thing. And I think that's why it's naturally a good fit that you work with these different companies, because you've been working with a lot of companies lately, and you're finding natural ways to share your art with even the most buttoned up corporate group of people.
Yeah.
And that's where I think you can become kind of a legacy artist or an icon that's a part of a generation, because there's a lot of integrity behind it, and people see integrity these days. And so when we see an artist like you, well, we're like, all right, well, we're going to find something that works.
Yeah,
And,
right.
you know, we talked about a ton of different projects yesterday, and one of them will manifest. And I'm like so excited to see what we do.
Me too, man.
Because a Super 73 special or Blue Dude, whatever that happens, is going to be really cool.
So cool. And that's the thing that has me so excited about, you know, this whole animation thing working out and drawing thing working out, is because drawing can be applied and collabed with any other style, any other category. You know, it could work with filmmaking. It could work with pottery. It could work with I don't know, like, like whatever, like a florist. It could be applied to any medium. Whereas there's other, you know, areas of art that it's tougher to kind of, it's a bit of a stretch to make it work with different things, but drawing can just be applied on everything. And it could be as adult as you want it. It could be as kid as you want it, and everywhere in between. And I think that's what's really exciting.
How long does like a piece take you?
It depends. Like the world record egg thing that I made in one night, because you know that was time sensitive, I guess. But then other things, like I made a 12-minute animation with one of my creative partners, and that took like months. You know what I mean? It depends. Animation is very time consuming, but my style of animation is not as much as true. Like there's animators on YouTube out here doing their thing, putting in 90+ hours a week, working through the night for one YouTube video.
And how do you deal with that? Because I feel like you must have this thought at a certain point where you put, like you said, a night into a video and it gets 600,000, 1 million views. And then you see people who you admire and respect putting in weeks and weeks and weeks at a time on everything.
Yeah.
And getting 100,000, 150, and then it kind of just dies and disappears and is lost to the internet forever.
Yeah.
What's that process with you? And have you ever actually like talked to another creator about that sort of thing?
Yeah, well, it depends. Like, I think my mentality when I go into making these quick one-off videos that, you know, have these one-off narratives, these one-off characters, you know, you have the occasional reoccurring character like Blue Dude, but for the most part, it's a bunch of one-off randomness. And I know, like, I've been producing, you know, I've been making videos on YouTube ever since I was like 10 years old. So I know, like, there's only a certain degree of longevity for a YouTube video. You know, if people are talking about it in 10 years, if it ends up being like the next Chocolate Rain, great. But for the most part, you're scrolling on your timeline, you're watching it. If you enjoy it, you're sharing with your friends, and then you're forgetting about it for the most part. Maybe you revisit it here and there. But, you know, I go into it with the mentality like, assuming that people will only dedicate 60 seconds to, you know, my page, if they make it through the whole video. I don't expect, you know, you don't owe these people anything. Like, they don't owe you anything.
Yeah.
So to ask them for their time when there's endless content, infinite content on their timeline, you know, it better be good, and it better catch their attention, and it better pop, and it better make them feel a certain way. So I go into it with that mentality, knowing like it's almost like I have no expectations, and it worked out in my favor because of that. I think all too often other artists, other animators, other YouTubers want to make that perfect YouTube video, and they end up spending weeks and
Yep.
months, way too much time on it, and it's never going to meet your expectations.
Never.
It's like a 1% chance that it's going to meet your expectations. So it's probably not going to meet your expectations. You put way too much time into it than you should have. You know, and it's just like a vicious cycle to make sure that you stay sad, like, or quit, even worse.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like, I think it's awesome how your imagination, it just bleeds into your animation, and it just happens so quick, and you just put it out there.
Right.
It's pretty fluid.
There's
Yeah,
Like,
man.
I don't want to overthink it. I just want to put it out
when
there.
I was watching at the bar, you did something on Instagram story. I was just watching the evolution of it. You were playing with the color, and then you filled the whole screen with color, and then you made a window, and then from the window you opened up like the bar where all the bottles are, and then you created your character, and then you put my face, your face, and Jordan's face at the top. And I was just watching it. I was like, damn, so that's how your mind works.
Right.
And
There's
it's
like a sense
real
of
quick.
It's integrity, you know, it's you being genuine, and we like that. We like the integrity behind
Thank
it,
you.
and people are reactive to it, and there's got to be something fulfilling behind that on your end too.
Yeah. Really, it's there's two different parts that fulfill me the most. The day to day is like the nice messages and comments that I get, like people saying, "Hey, everywhere from like the dude that was just having a bad day, and I made him laugh for the first time today." Like that feels good. Then it gets heavy, and I've gotten messages of like people like on their father's bedside who's like dying of cancer, and they watched Blue Dude and it made them feel good, and they showed their father
That's
that
wild.
video, and that's beyond heavy, and that's amazing that I was able to be this like shining star in their lives just for a little bit, and everywhere in between. The dude that broke up with his girlfriend, or the girl that just got heartbroken, or and like that's the real heavy stuff, right? That's the stuff where I'm like, oh, I'm not just out here making throwaway content, even though I'm like not asking for that much at the end of the day. I don't expect viewers to dedicate all their time. I'm just putting it out there, like I said. But these videos are having a substantial role in people's lives, more so and more so, I think, based on the messages that I'm reading. And I always make sure to reply. One time I'm on the subway in New York reading a very heavy message about this poor kid who unfortunately lost both his parents. And he's been watching my videos to get him through this tough time. And I responded as much as I could have. I typed like a solid paragraph back, and made sure that I was that he knew I was appreciative and thanking him, and wanted to throw my love and anything that I could have said in that moment to make it any better. But these are the roles that these videos are playing. So there's that, right? There's the reading messages, reading the comments, and feeling the love. Then there's the IRL stuff, like connecting with humans because of the stuff I'm doing through animation. That being the context, the excuse, the platform to be on a podcast like this and connect with other humans. Go to India, connect with humans across the world in a different culture, because I'm just drawing funny, weird, dumb stuff. How great is that? That was always the dream. I grew up on Long Island. It was tough to meet other cool people, or other people at all that I felt connected to. And now I'm out here and meeting cool creatives every day because of animation.
I think it's
Access things.
Long-winded answer.
I think it's important too that you brought up the fact that you were doing this since you were 10. Because then I could see a lot of people just being like, oh, this guy just does easy animations and he blew up overnight. Like, no, man, you've been doing this for 10 plus years.
Yeah, dude. Like, I feel kind of weird when I'm like out here doing cool stuff, and I'm like, I have like imposter syndrome.
That's what I was kind of, without saying imposter syndrome, I wanted to ask you about that. Because I think we all here have that as well, because we've had some pretty quick growth, and, it's been a grind, and it's been really, really tough. And there's a point where, sad sob story of every startup, but it doesn't mean that feeling goes away because people see your success. And so that's kind of what I wanted to get at, was like, do you ever have that where you say like, you want to almost take somebody who you see grinding and doing it out there and promote them and be like, no, but guys, look at this person. Look at what they're doing. So how do you kind of deal with that, and how do you?
Yeah, no, I think it is important to stay humble and not grow a big head. You know, I think imposter syndrome is healthy to a certain degree to kind of check yourself. You know, but then like also recognizing like, oh, you've put in the hours, you put in the work. Like I've been doing this for over a decade, you know, and like, you know, with a startup, like you put in the hustle and the stress, and like you kind of deserve where to be where you're at.
Absolutely.
I have this talking point in this speech that I did in India, where it's like the IDK versus the duh. And the IDK is like, I don't know why this has happened to me. This is like, I feel like I'm an imposter. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just lucky. Why am I here? Why is this happening to me? Versus the duh side of you that's like, well, I put in all the hours and all the passion. And I'm like, I think I deserve this. You know, I think this is, at the very least, this should be the conclusion, you know? So it's like always those two sides of any creative clashing against each other. But yeah, I feel like when you're lucky enough to be in a position where you have eyes on you and you use that to point to other people, that's a good move. That's a good look. People remember that, you know, and I think that's important to point to the other people that are out here hustling and you know, using your new platform to bring others up. Just like maybe another account that was bigger, or another person that was bigger than you at the time maybe did that for you. That's the good.
So just get back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the good vibe cycle, I think. Good person cycle. Yeah, that's important, and people remember that.
Yeah, people talk about that.
People talk about when you're a good person. Yeah, we were chatting about this. You know, it helps to just be a good guy, because people talk when you're not there.
Yeah.
And they're going to talk about you.
Absolutely.
And they'll either say, yeah, he's a good guy, I have fun with him, you know, great person.
Or he's a scumbag.
Or you're a scumbag. Don't hang out. And that word gets around.
And we've all dealt with creators, and probably mutually, that you do leave without a good taste in your mouth, and you're like, well, now I don't really want to do a project with them.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that does kind of play a lot into it. Now I have a question kind of stemming off that, with people being attracted to what you're doing. Not now at this point, I almost feel like it would be taking a step backwards because your platform is so big. But have you thought about bringing it to like traditional media, or jumping in on a project that's, I mean, because I see Cartoon Network all over what you're doing.
Yeah.
And while I do think it's almost at this point a step backwards, because you have your own platform, why would you censor yourself and cater to somebody else? Like, has there ever been an idea of, maybe I do want to take something I'm doing to traditional media?
For sure. Those thoughts still definitely excite me, and there's so many ideas that I have to be like a long form show, to live on a Cartoon Network, to live on a Netflix or whatever. But you know, and I have contacts and people that I'm meeting more and more every day that could one day help further that reality. Tons of great insight as to what's going on in those industries, and it's shifting more than ever because of, you know, these YouTubers and these online content creators getting like, you know, millions of reach, while a TV show gets like 300K.
Yeah.
You know, it's just two different things. And the internet is, you know, giving TV networks a run for their money for sure. I think if I were to do anything, it would be more of like a streaming, like a Netflix, like a Hulu, like an Amazon Studios. I think that would be a little more of a fit, but yeah, no, you're right. It's not like it's not on my mind. I think I'm not entirely focused on it at this point in my life. There's so much other stuff that I'm pouring energy and hours into, but total possibility with the right idea.
You ever think about like live streaming stuff? Like maybe like live streaming like a drawing session?
Yeah, I do that from time to time. They're always really fun. I just did it for the first time on TikTok.
Oh,
so
yeah?
TikTok is new.
Man, you're embracing. I mean, it's not, but it is for us. Like, you're embracing that new space. We've been scared to get into that.
So a month ago, I was like, what is this? Why is this a thing? And then I started uploading my stuff, and a few people reached out that worked on the TikTok team that were fans of my other videos. And I'm already at like 650K followers. Jeez. And it's probably going to pass Instagram followers. So the reach on Instagram on TikTok
Yeah, man.
is wild.
That's so crazy.
It's
I don't even
huge.
think I've seen.
It's weird how fast things age us now, because you
Yeah.
saying I don't think I've seen a TikTok is
Am
like,
I old?
I mean,
makes me
honestly,
old.
yeah. And I
Okay.
think it's happening
I'm
faster
okay
and
with
faster
that.
these days because technology is evolving so much and
Yeah.
so quickly
It just
that
popped. It just
and it's
blew
like,
up.
and yeah, I mean, we're going to be looking at kids and they're going to be saying, you don't have a TikTok account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I already feel like my dad and I'm in my like 20s. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Crazy.
No, I feel that, man.
Not
because,
that being my dad is a bad thing. I love my dad.
Yeah, love you, Dad. But like 2 months ago, I was like, ew, TikTok.
Yep.
And now me and all my friends are like, yo, like
Yep.
TikTok.
Yeah, man.
You know, that reach though. And so I went live on there for the first time. I did live drawing because I hit 500K. And I never went live on Twitch or anything.
Yeah.
But it implements Twitch culture where like there's money in the chat,
Yeah.
which is weird. And I started just getting like money, like dollars. I
Donation,
made like $8 off that entire, but I didn't expect it. And that culture is mind blowing to me because you have like Twitch streamer girls, gamer girls or whatever.
Oh yeah, dude.
With like, you know, like really good looks.
Yeah.
And they're making money.
Seriously.
Yeah, the moment
No,
you
real
mentioned money, like automatically I thought like there's something grimy about that.
Oh my
you know?
God.
Like,
Twitch culture is still foreign to me. Like I know more about TikTok than I know about Twitch
Yeah.
at this point in time. You know, like Twitch culture is, assuming like they're still rocking and rolling. Last time I checked, there was like an empire, but people are like making
Serious money, dude.
Well,
serious money.
And I think that's something that's not, I mean, you know, you mentioned you felt a little grimy about that, but I think that's something that's not necessarily a grimy thing because the power is being taken away from these big networks. I mean, you want
Yeah.
to talk about like historical cycles. It's going to get weird, but follow me on this.
yeah, I'm following.
For the longest time, the Catholic Church was the only one with access to like religious connections. And they were, call it traditional media. They were the TV station that was channeling what they wanted to channel, pushing their agenda, doing what. And then you had this person who came along and translated the scriptures from German to English or you know, whatever, from Arabic to German. And then it was the people's. And at that point, it was given to the people, and the people could choose what they wanted to do with it. Now, take that to technology these days. And now these creators are going on these new platforms where the people are saying, we're in control. We're going to decide if we like you. We're going to give you the money we want to give you. We're not giving it to the network to give it to you anymore. We're giving it directly to you. So if you followed me on that analogy, it's this mystical power being taken away from an entity and being distributed to the people. And I think that's what we see with things like Kickstarter even. This company was born on Kickstarter. We didn't have any money, no funding, nothing. But the people decided they wanted to help us to make a product. And so the people jumped on board and funded us. That is basically like the people saying, you know what, the establishment's broken. We're not going to keep buying from these bike companies that don't know what we want. We're going to give our money directly to people just like us who know what we want, and they're going to do it. And that's what you're seeing right now.
Yeah.
When these people are like, these cartoons we're watching on TV, they're not connecting with us. It's just garbage and empty and it's disposable. We're going to go find a creator that we love and we're going to directly fund them. And that's what you're seeing.
Yeah.
And you know, you say $8, but it's a starting place. I mean, and you're being paid by companies to do work for them now. And it's like, suddenly now you've taken the power, you've taken the control. And I think that's what I love about, you know, 2019 and this new culture of distribute the power among the people and let them decide. It's democracy in its truest form. I mean,
the
it's
people.
so raw. Yeah.
I think it's like a win-win situation because the people get to decide what becomes a reality, you know, and the company gets a direct to consumer insight as to what the people want. You know what I mean? So it's like total win-win. Everybody's getting what they want. You know, the people are getting the perfect product that they asked for, and the company gets to sell the perfect product that was like engineered to what people are looking for. Like
because they have that connection to
specifically,
the people through you.
direct. I mean, you have the freaking president of the United States using Twitter to talk to the public for the first time in
Yeah.
history. The internet is not even what it was 5 years ago.
Crazy.
The internet, for the first time in history, is, you know, the most powerful, direct to your brain medium that, and I imagine it's only going to get worse, you know, or more potent. You know,
Potent.
it's only going to happen more,
Yeah.
unless I don't know, the Facebook servers explode or something.
Which everything will come crashing down eventually.
Yeah.
It's gonna burst.
We'll
I
learn.
guess one day
We'll learn.
Well,
some
like
point.
it's the Wild West right now, I guess is what I'm saying. Like there's no rules. Even when my stuff started blowing up on Instagram and Facebook 2 years ago, like there was no credit to me. Pages with 1 million followers that was run by a 14-year-old meme lord.
That's
would
how your
just
whole thing started, right?
That's how it started.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me that.
And I just didn't know back then to watermark my
Yep.
stuff. And I just found like hundreds of copies of my videos elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this would never happen on TV,
Kids
but
are
it's
so
happening on the
mean.
internet. Kids are mean. Kids don't know what's going on. But also like,
14-year-olds, man.
they don't think about, they're just like,
They don't care.
Yeah.
they're literally, for the first few months of my videos blowing up, it was me hitting up literal like 14-year-old boys from Guatemala that just happened to own this popular meme Facebook page, hitting them up on Facebook Messenger and just saying, dude, like, can you tag me? I would appreciate that. Waiting like 12 hours because they're in a different time zone for a response. I think one time I'm like, yo, like, if I pay you $40, can you please just credit me? Because this one,
Wow.
this
And they'd
one
already
joint-
posted you?
Yeah.
Wow.
This one, because one of them got like 11 million views
Yeah.
and was growing.
And that could have made you back then.
Oh yeah,
You know?
so I paid him $40 and he tagged me, and then it proceeded to go to like 25 million with my
Wow.
tag.
Yeah, I'm-
So I'm just like,
I remember you telling me like you ran
Well
to
spent.
you ran to your train station
yeah.
in the rain, like just to like hit people up.
Because when I first got the message that my animation was going viral, I was home on Long Island with really bad Wi-Fi in
Wow.
a rainstorm, and so I ran to the the local train station with my phone and connected to Optimum Wi-Fi. Shout out to Optimum.
Wow.
And just sat there. It was like a really overly
It's such a
climactic
movie moment.
I know. I'm like sitting there. It's like dark out. It's raining, and just the street light from the train station is like illuminating.
So
I'm
millennial
watching it
of
right
you.
now, and I see Andrew Garfield playing you, and he's running through the rain in
do it.
New York.
Hell yeah.
I literally just watched that scene in my head.
Yeah,
That's cool.
dude. Let's do it. Let's freaking.
That's
do
really
it.
cool. So what can we be excited about coming in the near future for you?
Well, we just designed this sick bike.
Oh,
I
we
mean,
dropped it. That's cool. I'm down. I was gonna keep it on wraps, but
The
let's
DL.
They don't know what
hype
it
them
looks
up a little
like.
bit. Yeah,
They don't know. No one
so,
knows what it looks like.
Yeah, Danny sat with Caroline yesterday, and they designed what doesn't even have a name yet, and I don't even want to put a name on it yet because of where it might go and what it might do. But it's a pretty cool thing.
That's all you get. You don't.
yeah,
know
and it will be-
anything else.
It will be a very rare, special, one-off kind of thing at this time, and so we're really excited to see that happen. So definitely stay tuned. Make sure,
Dude.
to be looking out for that because it is coming.
Does it fly?
I'm so excited.
it
It might
fly?
fly. It might fly.
Does it have
I'm
a
just
soup
waiting for the-
dispenser?
No, but like I have so much going on, and it's all exciting. I'm continuing to make a bunch of really cool episodic content about these 3 aliens that crash landed to Earth, and their spaceship's all broken, and the only way they could raise money to fix their ship and go home is to start a rock band and win a talent show.
That makes sense.
So it seems like people really like it. We're currently at episode 2. I'm about to drop episode 3, and it's like the first like episodic,
That's really cool.
storyline that's going on, and people are really excited about these 3 little alien characters, and I'm excited about it because now I know to do more with those guys because people like them and like hanging out with these little strange little green dudes.
Sounds like a cool segment.
Yeah,
So-
it's really cool.
What do people have to search to find that?
3 Cool Aliens on YouTube. Episode 3 coming out soon.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Anybody else have any closing questions for Danny while he's here? Cool. I mean, I think we really dug into some cool stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you've shared the story a lot, but it's cool. I think our followers. Now, while I think a lot of our followers do already follow you, they probably haven't seen the behind the scenes stuff. So I think this was a really cool look.
This is me.
And then be excited because cool stuff is coming from
Coolman Coffeedan.
Yes,
our camps
sir.
together. Yeah. So make sure to check out the links below if you want to see or download this on Spotify or iTunes or want to share with anyone. Your links are going to be down below as well. So make sure to
Solid.
click those if you're watching this on YouTube. How do people find you for other podcasts you've done? I feel like if they just search your name on...
Yeah, should just be able to search my name, Danny Casale or Coolman Coffeedan. Should pop up just about everywhere. And I thank you, man, for having me on.
Our
This
pleasure.
is really cool. The office is so sick.
Thank you.
I'm jealous of all the boxes from the 1980s.
The vintage Star Wars toys behind the set is what he's looking at
It's
right now.
so cool, dude.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for joining us. You guys
My
make
pleasure.
sure to like and subscribe if you feel so inclined, because that's what YouTubers say. And we'll see you on the next episode of Squadcast73.
Yeah, have some soup.
Thanks, guys.
And waffles.
And waffles.